Hello and welcome to Wisdom on the Front Porch, the wonderful podcast I love showcasing people. And today we have Nathalie with us. And Nathalie, you are so vibrant. We were just talking before the show about memory means water and light, and that is you. But our audience may not know who you are and what you do. So can you tell us just a little about yourself, please?
Okay, hi, and I'm kind of honored and surprised that you asked me, and it was just fully aligned with my wishes. And yesterday, like, okay, universe, I'm ready for sharing who I am now. So this is like me at my best. I magically um I do magic. Like I know my when my soul is in alignment, I call in the the beautiful magical things in my life. And I've been who I am is I kind of been a invisible person and being like a mermaid for a long time until it kind of I get uh, in and out of the depth of the water. So trying my way to kind of feel safe in this world. I've been hurt and abused and all this sort of childhood where I wanted to reinvent my life and myself a couple of times. And from being a stormwater expert and landscape architect, I became an artist. And really, because I was receiving kind of connection through my painting, and my painting would become reality. So I started to notice that I was mainly painting for my pleasure to come alive after or throughout winters with and they became kind of really longer and longer and I needed more light. So I became and listening to my soul and my intuition through painting and following my love for water. And I can say now I'm a guide for old soul who are on a path to remember who they are and why they're here.
Oh, that's wonderful. Huh. Yeah, I've enjoyed the article you have on Wisdom on the Front Porch magazine. It was very beautiful where you have the mermaid and you talk about the water, and that was just wonderful. Um, so, what is your journey like? I know as entrepreneurs, sometimes we have to where it's just going great, and then all of a sudden it's like, what happened? Did someone pull the plug out of the bathtub and all the water ran out? Did somebody?
I felt like
I
that.
don't know. Did we have a rock slide? What happened? It's like all of a sudden you have to reset. So when those things come, and I'm going to ask you first, have you had to reset in your journey?
All the time and every winter for sure. It's
And
not been an easy ride for me because I don't think business and the world like um I often feel like I can't do what kind of the business world is doing. And
yeah.
I've tried, I've tried to learn. I've tried to do the networking event. I tried this and I tried that. And every time I lose myself, most often
Oh,
I lose
yeah.
myself and I end up going back and hiding, going back to the water, listening. What what's happening? I'm not finding my soul mate client, the people I'm here to to contribute from my heart, like deep inside of me. I know I'm here to to inspire and to guide other who are on that path, but I didn't really know enough about me until now to really now see and describe and help those people that I'm now really clear on being the one. Like before, I kind of knew and invited people to paint, but it was not about the painting, and that was how to reset often. So it's about the remembrance. The painting is just a practice for me.
Okay.
And I was attracting people who want to have results or and me on the other side, I didn't want to sell painting to on the gallery. So there was a lot of trial and error and going back to gardening and landscaping and no, I can't do this anymore. And then coming back, following the breadcrumbs of my soul, getting back to a painting. And this painting of my higher self is something I offer to someone trying to see and really like this big one reset where I said, no, okay, I'm putting all the things that brings me aliveness and the things that I know and all the woo-woo stuff. And I'm going to share with someone and see what happens. And the result were mind-blowing for me and for her. And so this was like the new path last year. And then I it led me to Portugal and exploding gifts and really synchronicity. But then when I came back to Canada, I had another level of remembrance, like clearing ancestral pattern and the money. Uh, there's so much for me around money and receiving money and uh, to come from an open heart, unattached, and fully be in my gift. And there was also, the lower things, and because painting for me was a way I heal a lot of abuse, but there was still some level of shame. And as I think many entrepreneur, we all going to go through a different way, and especially spiritual entrepreneur who are here to evolve. So our soul journey become really clearing the old kind of weeds of, old way of thinking, the conditioning of the social conditioning around business, like what's professional, what is not, you can't do this, this has never been done. And I'm an innovator, and it's finding my way to be back in my joy, in the innovative, and I have enough strength and courage to be risking rejection. And that was the kind of really last months or so of like the last, I think it's the last layers, but I don't think we, we have probably never really complete get to say that we never fear again rejection, or we're not, we're totally detached from whatever people can say. Or but I feel now that it's just perfect timing to speak up and to be in a place that I see now not as a business but as a movement. and it's never been about me, and that's why I was lost in the business thing, like, hey, this is me and I'm selling this, and it's never been like I could not do this. And then sometimes I was feeling bad because I it's not me, and I was like, well, maybe something I need to shift and I need to work and I need to go. No, now I know it's really a movement into living a new way. It's not the business that it's it's not the business model we see out there in the terms of profiting on sort of product and bringing to people. um, yes, I'm offering experience, and yes, I love if someone is really in connection with one of my painting and feels moved by it. I, but it's really coming from my soul. If it's the world I want to create is a world where everyone lives from their soul, a soul-led world. And I am here to help remember the people, that the pieces. Then sometimes it's just out of our awareness. Sometimes it's just deeper under some sort of conditioning. And it's a journey, it's an experience. It's not like I'm going to guarantee result. It's not like I can promise, oh, you be, and that's the journey of for me of learning from all the things that the marketing and the business and the training. It's mostly what it was not me. And now I'm like, okay, this is a it's more like a movement of those old souls who feel like they didn't belong for a long time because we're leading something new. And that
Wow.
that is my realization of of the last 7 years of trying to be in business, which is not, and
Yeah,
like bumping my head, like, how, why it's not working, and feeling the shame and not having client, and all of this, and like, okay, it's I'm I'm not from I'm not in this world to I'm creating a new way, and I'm not the only one.
yeah, yeah. No, that's really insightful. Because not everybody is out selling a product or um, something like that. But those who tend to be more creative do come from the heart, come from the soul. Um, they have such value to offer and to help people see the value in themselves and to find out what is holding them back. Why aren't they able to do what they want to do? And I see how through your paintings that you're giving them a way to release whatever it is that's blocking them, that's holding them, that's stopping them, so they can find out who they really are and to see that they really can do these things, that they really do have something important in them. And people do want to hear that.
Mm.
It's when you go on sites and they're business sites and they're asking, well, what's your business? Is it health, like exercise and diet and things like that? Is it finances? Is it whatever it is? But you don't see anything in there that's creative or that's helping your soul or helping you find out who you really are. Those are not, the top three things that everybody's
Oh,
looking for
that's it.
because those things can actually be easy to do if you've done them, if you know about them, if you know what's going on. But trying to, put the square pegs in the round holes, unless that round hole is big enough for the square peg, it's not going to fit. Um, it can be difficult. And I'm not saying you're a square peg. I'm just saying that you're coming at life from a different point of view, from that creative mind, to help people see that there is more to them than just the surface level, that there's something deep inside of them that really wants to be released so they can be fully who they are. And I really appreciate that you took the time to find that out about yourself first. Instead of just saying, oh, you need to go do this, you said, well, what about me? I'm going through this. I'm not happy with it. Why not? And so you took the pause. We talk about there's nothing wrong with taking a pause. You need to stop and look at where you're at, where you're going, what's working, what's not working. And that's what you did. You took that pause to figure out what's going on. Um, with me, it's, I wanted to write books and I was, but there were a lot of pieces that I was missing, so I needed to learn those pieces. Well, while I'm learning that, then you get this coming in, and you have this coming in, and now you've got 50 other things coming in, and these are all great things. And yeah, everybody says they can help you get to where you're going, but by the time you're done, your brain is just
Like
mush.
you said,
You know?
that's it.
Yeah, yeah. There's
We
just so much
distract
coming in.
from our own rhythm, from our own stillness.
Yes,
And that's
yes.
the place where we can listen to the whisper of our soul. Yeah. Yeah. Painting can be a way to release, but it also can be a way to call in our vision. So painting has many benefits and it can be done in different way. So it can be like an access to the subconscious and a connection with the language of our soul, the symbols. And we start to be in conversation with our soul. And because we're in the present moment, we're we're bypassing the mind that's trying to figure things out and you should do this and after this you do this. This is the beauty of the creative, um, the connection to our soul. And it can also be the the way we choose to live. So this higher self painting was for me to really, okay, the highest vision, what I see myself doing and calling that person, that being into my body. So it's this in this way we can go kind of back in the past and go into the future. That's why I like to say that they're a portal. They're a portal to or to what we want to create. So if we can see, well, this new painting in progress is like my soulmate relationship, and in creating this, I'm sort of nurturing the vision and painting how I want to feel, how I want to be received, and in bringing those feeling and seeing this, it's like I am already seeing this new reality, and the more and more I attract the 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 painting vision. So yes, it's not for people like who want to do results or a nice, beautiful thing. It can become it. But and you the people I do feel it is for, they have this desire inside of them to live their soul life, and they're done with trying to pretend. and and I think right now there's a big calling for the souls that are here to create and build new new economy, new business, new governance. And it started by being really connected to our soul and listening. We can't, like, there's some famous person who said we can't create something new from the same place we create what we're doing. I think it's Einstein who said that. So painting helps that. Painting helps to be really in the moment and access the language of our soul. We become in tune with and listening and opening up to, okay, what I'm here to really do, and attract different, like, out of nowhere. Hey, someone's thinking of you.
That's interesting. And I was just thinking, not everybody is artistic. Not everybody has paints and stuff at home. So someone listening to this may think, well, this isn't going to help me. I don't even have color crayons at home. So what would be something that they want to go figure out what's going on, what's this block they have, or, I just don't feel like myself. I want to figure out what's happening. What if they don't have any tools? What do you do with that?
Well, I would say they can, like, anything that lights them up. So for me, it was painting, but for someone, it may not be. First, I want to make sure that I'm going to blow up this belief that everyone is creative. It's the conditioning and the social things that tells you you're not creative, because we're all creative. So I think you know that. And so if it attract, then we can just take 3 or 4 colors and just start to play and be curious with that. But if you're not kind of attracted to painting, then the nature is the other way to go. And just sitting by water, looking at a tree, looking at the sky, and often we can even ask a tree to witness our soul and the feeling of being seen at the soul level, to start to connect with the soul instead of the mind who's thinking that it is the reality. That for me, nature and water are often a way to clear our energy, to feel our own presence, and plants. And be surprised that for me as a landscape architect, and then the way I heal myself with plants, is that every time I looked around on the property of someone, the plants there, they are your ally. They your soul remembrance ally. If someone has a past heartbreak, they cannot kind of move past, then I'm sure you're going to find around your house or somewhere on your walk a plant that speaks to you. And you get to communicate in the energy, not trying with the mind, seeing like what she's doing and how you can, take confusion and all that. Just feeling and being with the energy of plants around and being curious again. It's really in the curiosity and the open of our heart that say, okay, from this open connection to her heart, how am I feeling around this plant? And what can she tell me, about my pain, about my past heartbreak, or um, I have many, many plants alive that can support, that I felt that so supported every time I needed. I can call them, or just being curious and notice, okay, it's gonna come like coup de cœur, like a, oh wow, like you're gonna just notice and see, oh, maybe she has something for me. And you're deepening this connection with nature. For me, this is all this is the original inspiration for me, is And then this love for nature, this is what I paint in the winter because I need the green and I need the plants and so I paint in the winter, and it got me to remember more more of me and in different way, but and expressing. But the to me the original, the most um, get to the source, is nature. And is kind of this is why I kind of changed my name. Instead of painting dreams into reality, I'm calling remembering with nature, because it's really where we can start our connection to nature and help us remember who we are past our thinking, past our thought that, oh, we haven't achieved, or we have this sort of problem in a relationship, or we haven't succeed this. How come it's been 10 years? If we want to create this, we haven't, or we are fit. Like all of those kind of story the mind can tell us, nature will bypass all of this, and we'll see. So if you ask a tree today, just get on a walk, sit on the near a tree and ask him to see you as you meditate. Just feel the expansion, and just if we start that every day, doing a walk and seeing around and being present, the whatever kind of feel the stuckness or the energy that is kind of around us will finally dissipate, because we're purifying, we're intentionally creating this connection with our soul and with what the greater life force around us.
Yeah, yeah, I was just thinking about, when I was young, parents, if we had too much energy, if we were upset, whatever it was, they tell us, go outside, go for a walk, just go outside. And there's so much data now that proves that going outside, being in nature, if it's raining out and you're just on your porch, just being out there helps to really release things. Now a lot of kids told, oh, go to your room. Well, you go to your room and you're still blocked in. Maybe open your window and look outside. Don't go outside. Still need to be obedient, but yeah, just even just sitting outside, what a difference it makes.
Yeah.
Clear our thoughts. If we're stuck on something, we don't know what's happening, we go for a walk around the block, just go for a little walk around the yard. And it just seems to really help release. You're getting, the blood flowing in your body, um, and you're just releasing things. And if you're just
Because we
standing there,
yeah, we
you're
do
not
absorb so
doing things.
much energy out
Yes.
of the computer and out of our like mind. Like
Hmm.
that is so important what you say, just taking break and going out. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you know, it just seems to do a lot of good. And I'm surprised at how much, how many, I'll put it this way, how many benefits we gain in ourselves just by going out for a walk, just by stepping outside, away from the office, away from whatever you're doing. And maybe you're working outside all the time, and you need to go in and just sit down for a minute, that too.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's it's so true that just being in nature itself just helps equip you to keep going on to what you need to do. So,
Well, it helps remembering that we are one with nature. This I really see, for me, the world I see are children who are playing in nature. They
mhm,
don't have to go in their room, not at all. it's not something we need to be obedient. We need to be letting them being creative, authentic. That's the way we were conditioned out of our creative self, out of our natural, authentic self. Is we were, you gotta do this, you gotta rules, and you can't do this, you can't do that. You're not creative, you're not an artist, you're not. Yes, you are. Yes, they are. They have they've been limitless, and nature is who we are. We have always been connected. Like if we look at just 100 years ago, we were outside. We are nature outdoor being. We're not meant for sitting on at the computer for hours and hours. So I think it's not just good for your energy and your heart, but it's because you start to live in connection with life.
There you go. I like that. Yeah. Living in connection with life. And yeah, too many people, we stay home. It's like, oh, we have a day off. What am I going to do? I'm just going to stay home, play video games, read a book, but I'm just going to stay home. And too many times we stay home. And sometimes we need to. That's good. But a lot of times we need to get out of our home and go visit. I mean, people used to go to each other's home for dinner, visit each other all the time, go and do things together. Um, how many times do you say, let's go to the park when you've got kids, just to let them be outside and run around and release all of that pent up energy from being inside in smaller places? Um, yeah, so
Yeah.
much truth to that.
it, this this sort of life where we were connected to nature and each other. So this is the two things to me that I realized after like trying the online business and kind of reaching out but not being with other human. I really burnt out because the two things that I miss in the equation is nature and people and real people. So if yes, I am creating this online business, and it's and that is for me um creating a total new way of doing business because I do it now outside. After a call, I'm going to go register an audio for this haven of reverence that I'm inviting people into. And those are the new ideas that came from being outside. It wouldn't come sitting at my computer.
No, no.
So I'm like, yeah, it's and this importance of connecting with other who like in person and this is why I'm like really, really excited about creating this amazing pilgrimage in Madera Island, where I'm going to invite women, old souls to remember, but really in the high vibration and feeling the energy of nature and feeling each other and that's just expand our aliveness and to me that is also a big part of attracting like the soul aligned client is being alive
Mhm.
and just a month ago I could have never thought that I would speak and being alive like that.
Isn't that something? Well, I'm so glad you able to connect your light and water together. How do people get a hold of you?
Well, right now you can reach me on Instagram, Remembering with Nature, and they can I am completing this heaven of reverence. It's going to be a free gift, and from there I have this full moon gathering coming for Old Soul to get the practice, remember and move and dance and connect with each other. And that's or just connect with my email address. Simply just say hi to being truly you at gmail.com. Being truly and you, the letter U at
Okay.
gmail.com.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you, Natalie, so much for today. And I'm so glad that you were able to get past this. I know it can be really hard when all of this just kind of like seems to fall apart, and maybe
Mhm.
sometimes it needs to fall apart so we can figure out what's really working, what's really good, what are we really going after? Did we just get so much, kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back? Did we just overload ourselves with too much? And now we need to see, okay, what does work? And
Yeah.
I thank you for your insight.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for having me. Yes,
Yes.
and we remember in different ways. So remember can be our mind, can be our soul, but re and putting all the member back the parts of us. So yeah, I put the all the parts of me together now and happy to contribute to the old souls who are ready to on well deepen their soul remembrance.
Awesome. Awesome. Thanks so much, Natalie. And thank you, our audience. Get a hold of Natalie and see what you can come up with in your remembrance. I'll see you next time on Wisdom on the Front Porch.
Thank you for joining us today on Wisdom on the Front Porch with your host, Ellis Kirkpatrick. You can find us on our website, wisdomonthefrontporch.com, see previous episodes of the podcast, and view issues of the magazine. Did you know you can submit questions, leave reviews, or suggest topics? You can also tell us where your favorite front porch location is and what it means to you. We hope you gain value and insight from today's or previous talks. We appreciate your support for us so we can continue to provide value and expertise to you and others. Subscribe to Wisdom on the Front Porch magazine and join in next week when we bring you another great insight into the world of entrepreneur culture and lifestyle. Make today a great day. Always believe that something wonderful is going to happen.